Yo, what up? It's Comics with Timo. New week, of course, new comic books. Yeah, man, I'm one of the many comic book related channels, and also one of the many comic related channels who tells everything about the weekly new comic books. And the reason why I'm doing it is because I think that I'm reading a lot of indie books, and there are a lot of indie books which are not getting the attention which they deserve. So yeah, man. These are the comics from February 5th, so the first week of February, and we're kicking off with a pretty light week for my standards. So normally I read around 25 comics a week, and in February it's a little less. And the first week was only like 15 books or something like that. So it's a pretty light, whole pretty light week. But let's kick it off with the pick of the week for me this week. Already an indie book, and this series is amazing. My pick of the week for the first week of February is Going to the Chapel. This is issue number 4. We had to wait a while in order to get this copy because this one was scheduled for, I believe, December or maybe even November, and yeah, it released this week. So it took a while to get here. Action Lab Danger Zone had printing issues, I guess, because none of their series was being published. But here it is. Going to the Chapel is the final issue of the series. And if you're not already reading this, I highly encourage you to check it out. They should give it a trade. It gets a trade in like a week or two. So in this month, you will get a trade of Going to the Chapel. So I suggest ask your store to order you one, because yeah, it's really great. It's like it's about a heist on a wedding. So you have this girl which is getting married with a nice guy, you could say, with a normal man, and she's from a very wealthy family, and she has a very worthy necklace which is worth a couple $1 million. And so you have the what they're called, the Elvis gang or something like that, the Bad Elvis gang, which is just a group of men who are trying to rob her from the necklace, rob the necklace from her, and she seems to know the one who is robbing the necklace. So that's the premises of the book. It's real fun. It's like Quentin Tarantino in a comic book. Going to the Chapel, my pick of the week this week, and I found this cover as well, and I had to get it, man. So I got 2 different covers for issue 4. This was an amazing series. If you've not read this, give it a shot. Going to the Chapel. It's by Action Lab Danger Zone, and the writer is David Papose. Yeah, give it a shot. Going to the Chapel, issue number 4. My pick of the week for the first week of February. Okay, so then that's done. Let's get on with Marvel. Marauders issue 7 released this week from Marvel Comics. This probably is the weakest Marauders issue yet. It's still written by Gary Dugan, of course. They get a guest artist on this one because I forgot who the artist is from the first 6 issues, but yeah, it's really hard for an artist to keep up with a 2-monthly schedule. Two weekly, bi-weekly schedule. So yeah, I guess the artist on this one, the art looks a little rushed, you could say. So yeah, not the best Marauders issue. Not really. The plot is not going forward much, I guess. And if you read issue 6, you know that it had a big cliffhanger ending, and they don't even mention it in here. So yeah, really weird. I hope issue 8 picks up where issue 6 left off, because that's what we want to know. Marauders issue 7, also from this week, from Marvel Comics. This one, it was a great issue. Daredevil issue number 17. This is a big arc, because the previous arcs were like 4 or 5 issues. This is Through Hell, issue 7. Daredevil keeps being an amazing book. They should publish this bi-weekly as well in order to keep yourself in the story, because it's a very dense story, a lot of plot points, a lot of gang members and names and whatnot. So I tend to forget things before the new issue comes out. But when I was like 5 pages in this one, they get me up to speed real quick, and it was a real fun read. Daredevil issue number 17. Highly recommend you to pick this one up. And if you're not reading the series, pick up the first couple trades, because they should be released and it's worth the read. Daredevil issue 17, also from Marvel Comics. Then we have a one-shot. This is Immortal Hulk. Great power. This was not on my pull list at all, but I heard great things about it, so I called my LCS manager and I was like, okay, do you have a spare copy, because I'm hearing great things and I want to read it. And he was like, yeah, we got a couple, and he pulled one aside for me. I just read it like an hour or two ago, and yeah, it's a one-off. It's nothing special. Yeah, unless you're a big Hulk fan, don't spend $5 on this one. The art was great though. The art was great. I'm going to show you real quick a little bit of the artwork. It's written, by the way, by Tom Taylor, and the pencils are done by Jorge Molina. Sorry for butchering your name. Here's an example of the artwork inside. Yeah. Nothing special. It's about Spider-Man being a Hulk. There happened something which I'm not gonna spoil, and the Hulk is transferred into Spider-Man. It gets real weird after that. You get the Fantastic Four, which you just saw in the preview pages I showed you. Yeah, nothing special. Nothing special. This one was special. I'm really digging Dawn of X so far. I like every series from Dawn of X so far, even Fallen Angels, which is the weakest one if you ask me. This one is right up top there with X-Men, X-Force, Marauders. X-Men Fantastic Four, it's a mini-series, 4 issues, and we will get 2 issues this month. This is the very first one, issue number 1, and it's mainly about Franklin Richards, son of Reed and Sue Storm, and Reed Richards and Sue Storm. Franklin Richards is a mutant, and the mutants are coming for him and want to take him to Krakoa. Yeah. Lots of action, amazing appearance by K Pride here as well. So they also have a reference to the 80s story X-Men vs. Fantastic Four, which I own in omnibus format right behind me. That was real fun. Yeah, this was great. This was a real great story. It's $5, so you get a couple of extra pages. So I highly encourage you to read X-Men Fantastic Four. You don't have to read X-Men or Fantastic Four to get this. I think the only thing you actually need is to know of Krakoa and the new foundation of the X-Men since Hoxpox. That's the only thing you really need to know, and that's it. Yeah, great comic. Highly encourage you to read it. X-Men Fantastic Four, issue number 1, Marvel Comics. Then the final Marvel comic I read this week, and the first one I read as well, was The Magnificent Miss Marvel, issue number 12. This is a series where you're not hearing a lot of. So not a lot of people reading this one. I gotta say, this was my first issue from this particular series as well. And I saw it at my LCS, and I scrubbed through it, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna try this one. And the reason for that is that Miss Marvel was the very first omnibus I read. So it's like a couple years ago. I was getting into omnibus and collected editions, and the first omnibus I bought and the first omnibus I read was Miss Marvel. And Kamala Khan is an amazing person, amazing character, and that book really got me into collecting those books behind me. So I saw this one at my LCS and I was like, I'm gonna give it a try. It's in issue 12. It is like the penultimate issue of the current arc, I believe. It got me really quick up to speed with the little synopsis in the first page, and yeah, it was a real great issue. Yeah, give it a shot. This is pretty much a jumping on point. You can jump on from this issue, no problem. Miss Marvel, issue number 12, also from the first week of February. Then I only got one DC book, and I have to come clear here because I'm more like a Marvel fan than I'm a DC fan, but I want to read more DC comics. And what holds me back is the fact that the most of the DC comics are already at issue 90, 47, 48, whatever, 58, whatever. I got back into Batman as soon as James Tynion IV jumped on it, and I really like it so far. This arc is amazing so far. Batman 88 is the only DC comic I read this week. No, actually, that's not the only DC comic I read this week. Give me a sec. I almost forgot this one. We'll talk about that in a minute. Batman 88 is the third issue of the James Tynion IV arc. Artwork is by Gilliam March, I believe. Yeah, the third issue of the arc. We get more information about Joker in this current story, and we already know that in like April or something, somewhere there in April, we will get a new story arc which is called the Joker War, and they're really setting up that in this issue. You still have the Deathstroke team. I'm not really familiar with a lot of DC characters, so I'm not even remembering her name, but you DC fans should know her. Yeah, man, this is a great issue. If you're not on Batman, ask your LCS to order you issues 86 and 87, and then pick up issue 88 because, yeah, this is real amazing. This is real fun. I'm reading Batman with my morning coffee, and believe me, it's a real fun ride. Batman 88 is also available in comic stores now. And then I thought this was my only DC comic, but of course we also had Joker Harley Criminal Sanity this week, which is a DC Black Label, I don't know how they call it, a premium prestige format comic with square pages, more like European comics. This is the third issue, I believe. Yeah, this is the third issue. And they changed the artwork a little bit. They changed the artist, of course. And I heard the reason why is that the artist for the past, with the colored pages, so the black and white pages are current time, and the colored pages are in the past. And they had a real realistic art style on the past pages, and yeah, they changed up the artist because I guess it took too much time to get these books out, because it already is like 2 months ago since the last issue, and I guess the first issue came out in October or something like that last year. So it's a bi-monthly book, so the next one will be in April, and I'm thinking what was in this issue, but you got the Joker, or we guess it's the Joker, and he's a murderer, of course, and he it's with the, let me see here. Oh yeah, so he's killing people and basing it off of artists. real artists like Da Vinci, or no, what's he called? This is so bad. This was the first book I read this week, and the second book, by the way, I read this week. I'm not even remembering. Whatever. Joker, Harley, Criminal Sanity. The art is amazing, still amazing, even with the new artist on here. It's a beautiful book to own. It's a little bit more expensive. It's $6 instead of $3.99, but you get a bigger book with a couple more pages in here. And most important of all, no adverts. So no ads. This has no advertisements. Only comic book. Only comic material. So that's it for Marvel and DC. Now we get into my indie comics. And the first indie comic for me this week is Image's Nomen Omen issue number 5. And I gotta tell you guys, this is my final Nomen Omen issue, due to the fact that this is more like a magic-based story, magic mythology. It feels like Harry Potter to me, and I don't even like Harry Potter. I have not seen every movie from Harry Potter, so if you read this and you're like, this is nothing like Harry Potter, I'm sorry. But the whole magic mythology thing just doesn't grab me, and I should have dropped this title at issue 2. But the completionist in me was like, I at least gotta collect the first arc, and after that decide if I want to continue the series or not. This is the final issue of the first arc, and yeah, this is the final one, man. I can't even tell you what it is about. It's I can try, I guess. It's about a girl named Rebecca. And that was really interesting in the first issue because the book is not in color. Some pages are, with a reason, which I'm not going to spoil. But most of the book is like white with gray tones. And let's see if I get an example here. I guess I can find one. Yeah, so let's see if there's no nudity here. Okay, so this is an example. This is what the art looks like in Nomen Omen. So not colored, but not completely black and white as well. Maybe. It's hard to see on the camera, but it's like sepia filtered. And some pages do have some color, but it has its reason. That's the magic part of the book, you could say. So you got Rebecca, and she has a condition where she's not allowed to see colors, only in her dreams. So the book displays what she sees, and that part of it is interesting. But the story doesn't grab me at all, so I'm dropping this one. Nomen Omen issue 5. Let's not talk about it anymore. From Image Comics. This book, though. This book did grab me with the first issue. Money Shot 4. Money Shot issue 4 by Volt Comics. People who know me know that I love me some Volt Comics. There's almost nothing they publish, and almost everything they publish I like. There are a couple of exceptions, which I'm not going to talk about because I want to keep it positive, but I'm reading every single issue Volt Comics releases, and this one is real fun. It's about the XX Explorers. There are science people from all different kinds of expertises, I think the right word is. Expertises, whatever. And they're living in like 2033, something like that. And people are no longer funding scientific experiments. And they are making porn in space with alien species to fund their scientific research. Yeah. That sounds great, right? This is real fun. It's by Tim Seeley and Sarah Beatty. Sarah Beatty, yeah, man. And art by Isaacs. So this one is real dope. Check if your shop owns a copy of Money Shot and scrap through the artwork. It really looks colorful. It looks amazing. Give it a try. Money Shot issue 4 from Volt Comics. That was the only Volt comic this week, by the way. Let's see. We got 3 more issues, all 3 by a different company. And let's start with Boom Studios. They released Mighty Morphin Power Rangers Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles issue number 3. I gotta tell you, I really like this series a lot. And at first when the series came out, I wasn't pulling it because I'm not a Power Rangers guy. I have never been a fan of the Power Rangers. I didn't watch the TV series because I didn't like the realistic part of it. And Power Rangers is not that popular here in the Netherlands, I believe. So never a fan, but I was a fan in my childhood. I was a fan of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. So I watched the whole 90s series, and I've read most of the IDW series. I got a little break somewhere between issues 50 and 100, and with issue 100 I jumped back on it, and I'm reading the single issues again, and I own every... Okay, which side? Okay. I own every hardcover, so I'm getting back to those issues I missed real soon. So I guess you like this series when you like either when you like Power Rangers or the TNMT or both, whatever. If you like one of the 2 teams, you're gonna love it. And if you don't know each of these teams, at first, what the fuck's wrong with you? But if you don't know these 2 teams, you might still enjoy it because it's not that difficult of a story. So yeah, I really like Power Rangers and Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles issue number 3. So as you can see, we got a Green Ranger Shredder here, which was from the last issue. And with this issue, it gets even more weird. It gets weirder as hell. The last page in this book really got me excited for the 4th issue. Yeah, this is a fun ride. If you like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles or if you like Power Rangers, you can't go wrong with this one. Try to read it. It's real fun. And then I got 2 books left. And the first one is from IDW. And when there is a new comic book day with this title on it, I already know it's a great new comic book day. I never read this series before this new installment, but I really like it so far. It really gets me. The artwork, the story, the premise of the book. This is Usagi Yojimbo, issue number 8. This not only educates you on Japanese culture, it's drawn beautifully by Stan Sakai. And Stan Sakai also does the cover, so this gives you a good impression of the artwork inside. Try to show it to you without much glare. Let's see. This is a real amazing series. And Usagi Yojimbo is colored for the first time, because before they only released these comics in black and white. So it was just Stan Sakai's artwork and his stories. And Usagi Yojimbo started in like 1986. And up until like this series, it always was in black and white. The reason why they started coloring them, I don't know, maybe to get a whole new audience, maybe, I don't know. But it's a real success. And Stan Sakai told that he would only do colors on Usagi Yojimbo if he liked it. And he does, and so do I. I really love Usagi Yojimbo. And if you're like, okay, but this is a new series, but I want to get into the first series, the very first issues, IDW gives you an opportunity to do that as well. Give me a sec. I guess it's somewhere here. It should be here somewhere. Oh yeah, here it is. Okay, let me put this back real quick. So, yeah, okay. So from they released Usagi Yojimbo Color Classics last month, which colors the first Usagi Yojimbo stories. So the stories in here are from 1986, but colored by the same colorist as, or not the same colorist. No, it's a different colorist, but it looks the same. So if you're new to Usagi Yojimbo, like me, this is a must-read. And if you want to know the new story, this is a must-read. This is Tatami, part 1 of 2, as you can see at the top. This is a jumping on point. Every new mini story from Usagi Yojimbo is a jumping on point. So if your store has a copy left, grab it, try it, and if you like it, you will like all Usagi Yojimbo stories, and this one as well. Alright, then the final comic of the week, and also the one I just read like a half an hour ago, just before I started this recording. It's a Ahoy comic. Ahoy Comics is a real amazing company. They just released the whole Second Coming story. The final issue of that one released in January. It's out there. The trade is coming this month. Ahoy Comics is amazing. For one reason alone, they give you more than a standard comic. This is a company which is like, okay, you're paying $4 for a 20-page story. That is not enough. We want to do something extra for you. We will give you something extra. Sometimes they give you a little puzzle. Sometimes they give you a couple of little stories, novel stories. Every issue has something extra. And that's not all. That's not all. So this is a cover for Captain Ginger Season 2, Issue 1. And if you're like, okay, but I like the Virgin cover of this. Can I get the Virgin cover? Oh, you can. It's right here at the back. So you get the cover with the title and you get a Virgin cover as well. Amazing company. I really like what they're publishing. And they're gonna publish the new wave of comics very soon, starting with Billionaire Island in March. And they have a couple more series which they talk about in the back material of the comic. And this is what I mean. So you get extras. This is just a story for the same price as your Marvel comic book. Another story. And I highly encourage you to check out some of these. My personal favorites are Second Coming, of course, which is amazing. Captain Ginger, Story 1 is available on trade paperback as well. And I'm hearing great things about The Wrong Earth, but I've not read that one. So now I have the comic here. I can show you a little bit of the artwork. This is June Brickman on art and Stuart Moore on the writing. It's about cats in space. Humankind is gone, and they are an intelligent cat species. And at the end of the first series, they saw and they got a signal from dogs. And the funny thing is, they can't understand each other. So the cats are like meow meow meow, of course, and dogs are like woof woof. It's real fun, and I believe it's getting even funnier with the next issue. This one was real contender of pick of the week. Captain Ginger Season 2, issue number 1. Also released this week. Okay, that's it, man. That were all the comics I read this week. Next week, so February the 12th, will be bigger. So I got like 19 comic books that week. So that makes it a lot longer episode. Or I have to talk a little quicker, or whatever. If you like this video, let me know in the comments down below. Subscribe to the channel, and yeah, a new video coming next week, somewhere next week, where I talk about all the new comic books, of course. And little reminder for the pick of the week, which was Going to the Chapel. Yet again, try to pick this one up at your LCS if possible, because this comic book is amazing. Thank you for watching. See you next time. Bye.